Hey there, fellow gold traders. Omar here with a little bit of a video. Um, Yesterday, and I'm really hoping that some of y'all caught this, we had actually two opportunities to trade. Neither had a big follow-through, but both produced really nice little trades. So yeah, no, there was no 100 pips to be made from the trade, but when you add them two together, they ended up being really nice. And I'll go ahead and point them out. We had let's see, the trend line was established there yesterday. I've readjusted them for today so we can go over today's trade. We had that breakout and that moved. Got some good little pips out of that. I think the best you could have done was around 62. That's nothing to sneeze at. I ended up getting, I think, 25 out of it. And then there was, actually this is not part of the system, but if you were paying attention, you can see that the major fib area that we bounced off of, this was met with a bullish engulfing candle, and that ended up rocketing off. But the real breakout came, again, you have to imagine that trend line being there. The second breakout really came with this candle here. And I think I grabbed another 30 pips from the move. The best you could have done if you were psychic was about another 60 pips. So between the two, ended up with a real nice day. Wasn't more than, 5 or 6 hours of trading. Today I have recalibrated the triangle, so it's an even bigger area. I've also adjusted this on a 4-hour time period to give myself a good viewpoint. And it looks like now this is 1 hour after, or this will be the candle that is 1 hour after London opens. We have what looks to be another breakout. This is definitely a trade I'm going to take. I'll fire it here in about 8 minutes. We are going to have to be very careful as we approach this fib to make sure that either we take our profit and wait for another breakout, or we lock up that trade and make sure we're at least at break even if we want to roll the dice and go for the bigger move. I'm starting to get the feeling that we are in this, and so you're immediately after I say this going to wonder why, and I'll explain. I'm starting to feel that maybe our bias is starting to point upwards. And the reason I say that is because the strength of the upwards moves that we've seen lately, they've just been really big, really big moves. What has taken, many candles to get down that distance to reverse has been done in 1 or 2 hours. We had a 250 pip single hour move, and so those are kind of indications that we might be sliding down, popping up, sliding down, popping up, instead of kind of running up and then slamming down. So again, we'll be very careful with this breakout. I will be there to catch the trade at the end of the hour, and we'll go from there. Catch you then. Hey guys, Omar here. I just took a trade a little while ago. It's moved quickly from my entry. I just want to discuss what I was looking at. Yesterday was FOMC, and we had a little bit of craziness, but we established this trend line. It's actually a bigger trend line. I'll zoom out here in a little bit. We finally had a break below the fib. We've been unable to do that for quite some time now. Hang on, let me get a zoomed out view here. Okay, that should give us a little better perspective of what's going on. Okay, so by the time you're watching this, this will have been the next week after the comment, but I want to get to it because news is a tricky issue with gold, mainly because most of the time I don't care about the news. I don't care really when it's coming out. I don't care what it is. There are a few news announcements that do matter. FOMC is definitely one of them. NFP is another. And GDP can be, as we saw yesterday. So let's talk about yesterday's trades real quick. We had a trend line in place for the breakout. We did get this candle. I entered at the end of the candle. It went against me by about 15 or 20 pips. A few hours later, it went finally in profit. I wasn't real happy with the way the price action was going, so I manually closed the trade. The next hour we really moved down, so I would have made a really nice return had I not popped out, but it was getting kind of close to the first round of news, which was the GDP news. So if I would have held on to it, it would have done okay. I would have made it just fine, but I ended up just trying to be on the safe side. I didn't want the news to blow me out the other way. What happened after that is we never really broke out. So although there was a big move, our breakouts have to break out of somewhere in addition to being good, strong moves. So that there have to be both elements. And so even though this made a big move, there were spiky on both ends, and we never cleared the top area, which was 1295. The following candle was a big bearish engulfing candle, and I was thinking maybe I was going to get in on the next candle, but it never closed through the fib area, and this fib area has been hit a couple major times now, and so what I was really looking for today was a break of this fib area, and that's why I was happy to get in this trade that I'm in right now. Later on in the day there was FOMC, and you can see this red candle I believe represents FOMC. We had a run up before that, and we never broke the trend line. So not the upper trend line, because I drew that today, but this trend line that we had taken our original breakout on, we never really got a breakout above it, so I didn't want a long there, and then FOMC came out, and it was a very nice bearish engulfing candle after a move up, but by that time I was no longer interested in trading. It was getting towards the end of New York session. So it had made a move up, it had rejected at support and resistance, and then we had a bearish engulfing. So that actually was a decent signal to take, and we did move back within the trend line. So there were multiple reasons to take the trade. It went on running, through Asian session and whatnot. But we set up the lines again, and I was looking for the breakout today. We got a breakout of the trend line plus the fib area, and that was a really good place to initiate the trade. And usually when you get them right pretty quick. If you get it wrong, you get punished pretty quick. A lot of times if you get it right, you get rewarded pretty quick. What's happening now is we're pulling back possibly to one of these two areas, and I would imagine that more weight will come into this, but maybe not. 1282.50 has been support before. I've shortened my stop about halfway, so I've got about a 20 pip stop right now. After this hourly candle closes, if it closes below these areas, I will move my stop to break even, and I'm going to shoot for a prior low of some sort, or maybe just trail by hourly candles. So anyway, I just want to give you an idea of trade I took, and catch up with this one in a little while. Hey gold traders, Omar here. Just want to apologize about not creating a follow-through video for either of the last two, but I still wanted to share them with you anyway, because I felt there was some good information on them. So let's pick up where the last video left off, and in case you're wondering why this looks different, I've recalibrated my trend line setup again for this week, and which we're going to get to in the analysis here in just a little bit. Well, let's go ahead and finish up where we were. We'll talk about NFP, and this is why you have to have a different mindset for gold, because news is also going to be a different situation than with Forex. What we absolutely avoid in Forex a lot of times, we can absolutely do with gold, and that's trade after news. But again, we're still going to be waiting for that hourly candle close before making any decisions. So it doesn't turn you into a news trader. Trust me, that's the last thing I ever want to be. But what it does allow you to do is work with the news, where Forex really you just kind of want to avoid most of the time. Again, so we left off here. I had taken a short position at the close of this candle. It ended up finishing the hour, putting me in a decent amount of profit. I was hopeful that it would continue on down, but we haven't seen the big moves, and we'll get to that with the analysis. But I ended up getting close here. I ended up trailing my stop. I think I got 40 something or 50 something pips out of the order. Total, the best I had done, I think, was 60. Yeah, so I think I got most of that move, came back. And then I just called it a day, which is why we didn't get a follow-up trade. And then I didn't trade NFP, although looking back on it, I almost feel that I should have, considering the break that was made. So let's go ahead and get to what was so important that broke. And we'll go to a daily for that. You can see here on the daily chart, there was a trend line. I had it marked, but it was amongst other trend lines. So this is the clean one that I wanted to get a hold of. And you can see all the way from mid-March, the downtrend. It had three nice touches, a top here, a top here, and a top here. And then we broke it on the daily on Friday. So this now makes me think that our next leg up is going to be more favoring long trades since we've broken this section here. To me, it's not confirmed yet because that is one way to look at it. Yeah, okay, there's that downtrend line, major downtrend line that's been broken. But please note the fact that we have been recently, oh, that's wrong color there, very much in a sideways pattern, much like we're seeing on a lot of Forex pairs. The major difference is that gold gives us the daily range to trade that. So last week we made some great, I hope you got in on some of them, we made some great trades last week, even though we were going up and down. So we just didn't get the big trade. Remember, when we're going sideways with gold, we can make decent trades. When it's trending and it's moving, we can make monster trades. And so for those of you who are just a little frustrated with the small ranges of Forex at the moment, if you are capable of trading this, then it does offer some rewards that are hard to find in other markets. Okay, so for this week, let's talk about some important areas that we have coming up on the horizon. Number one, the sideways range. I put the cap on the sideways range at 1306.5. So a solid breakout of 1306.5 is going to be, let's go down to 4 hour because we'll see the areas better. 1306.5 is going to be an important area. Our next fib is going to be at 1312.02. So this is going to be a major area. Will we bounce off of it? Will we break through it? I don't know. I don't really care. I just want to make money from the move. So we have to worry about that. Don't forget about the 50% fib at 1287.25. Of course, you should always be measuring your own fibs on your own charts, but that should be around that area. So there is the potential to come back down here, hit the trend line again and this fib area, and maybe get a big bounce off of that. Or maybe we break through it and then we get a nice big fat short off of it. Who knows? I don't care. As long as we can trade the breakout. So those are the immediate areas that we'll be focused on. There's, of course, fibs above and below, but that'll be for a later discussion, I suppose. Okay, so now to go down to our trading chart, which is the 1 hour chart. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up with a little trend line action here. And we're going to go ahead and take this high to this high, and we'll look at that as one little kind of intraday trend line, and then we'll connect the low of that candle, and there's a few good touches there. So this gives us the opportunity to see where our short trade would be. And you can see that to initiate a good short trade on a breakout, we'd want a good solid breakout below 1305, which would break the trend line. On the upside, we could look for a simple break above 1306.50, but depending on the size of the breakout candle, and this is what's interesting about gold, is okay, there's 60 pips, 55 pips in here, but what we could look for is we could just simply look for the breakout candle to clear 1313. You know, oh my gosh, that's, you know, 70 pips away, but we could easily do it in a single hour, and so that would be pretty much the ideal long breakout candle there. And we got lots of horizontal support and resistance above. The best gap area to trade is going to be between 1320 and 1329. That gives us like 97 pips of open space. That's probably going to be the cleanest run we'll have. There's lots of support above and below, but it doesn't matter because we're not trying to figure out particularly which support and resistance is going to stop price, just that we have to be aware of them and work our trailing through those things. We will, of course, pay very close attention to the fibs. And as a recap, in case you're wondering where I got the fibs from, I have taken the fibs from this last major up move here. Of course, if we really wanted to get a bigger set of fibs, like a stronger set of fibs, we could go to the monthly and we could fib, and I'm not saying that it's not a great idea, we could fib this here, and that would give us some even bigger areas to worry about. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and run that fib setup too. And what we'll do is we'll make it a different color to signify its importance. And we'll take low to high, and we'll go ahead and change the color here. And we'll make it crimson. We'll make it a little thicker, and that way we know our crimson fibs are the, oh boy, watch out for those area fibs. Okay, let's just make sure that the low here is 1182.39, check, and the high here is 1795.91, check. Okay, perfect. And you can see when we go back down to the 1 hour, we are nowhere near any of those big fibs. And it's interesting because as we play the uptrend fib game with these fibs here, the ones that we've been using, these are uptrend pullback fibs. The red zones are going to be the sell trend. So to break the sell, where are we going to have to get up to? It's going to be pretty high up there. 78.6 is at 1664.62. So technically we're still in a major downtrend until we hit that point, but obviously we're not going to let that factor into our daily trading. And on that note, I will let you guys get out there. I wish you the very best in your trading this week. You know what, I'm going to get the forum going this week so we can meet there. Plan on that by Thursday. I'll set it up by Thursday so we can discuss this week's trades by then. All right, have a great week, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.